press. I'm very happy that you're giving me this attention and this information attention because it needs to get out to the world. I will start, since we have to be brief. I have already given all pertinent information and supporting documentation to the Senate Intelligence Committee and ARROW. They informed me that all of my information will be recorded for public record and shared with Congress. It is that important. But I'm going to skip right through the chase, folks. I have provided documentation that proves that the 5,160, what they call DOMs, that are embedded in the ice can actually transmit at 2,047 volts each. That gives us a long list of things to consider. It is effectively a multifaceted directed energy weapons platform that I will list rapidly a few things that it can do. Vehicle detection. We're learning that these off-world craft, on-world craft, ours or other nations, are also emitting neutrinos. So this makes the South Pole Station effectively an air traffic control station for this new level of equipment that nobody's discussing. In addition to the ability to detect neutrinos and the exotic vehicles, I have provided documentation that shows that this is also a system for faster than light communications. In the past, Gary McKinnon has hacked NASA, found the off-world fleet, the list of captains, and it's apparent that if we have faster-than-light vehicles moving throughout this system, we're going to need faster-than-light communications. This is that facility. Unfortunately, I have other bad news. The season that I was there, 2010 to 2011, we converted from construction to operations and maintenance in both the elevated station and the detector array. Unfortunately, when they first fired it up, that was when we had the earthquakes in Christchurch, New Zealand. There was 2 incidental shots before they were able to target it correctly. This is an earthquake generating device as well. This is the weapons of war that we have to deal with now and what Raytheon's hiding.
Hello, my beautiful friends of Earth. How are you coping with this increased energy and DNA activation? I bet you're liking it. Are you feeling the absolute gratitude for being on Earth and just loving people and just being really appreciative of what's happening in the world? The answer is yes, then you are activating. You've reached a level where you've done your work, you've done your energy work, your body work, your mental work, and you're now reaping the glory of that. Some of you won't be. It's in the post, don't worry, because the intense energy coming down from our sun, which is coming from the galactic centre, which is provable scientifically now, I have to tell you. I've been saying this for 10 years, and people are like, oh yeah, sure, there's a galactic energy. No, the galactic wave. It's now scientifically proven. It's been on Earth since the 1800s, but we're now into the thick of it. So because we're in the thick of it, that's why our solar system has been changing for the last 20 odd years. It's why we're in the middle of a pole shift. It's why they're saying we have climate change. It's not. It's a changing planet because of the new energy coming. And what it's going to do is activate all that latent junk DNA that's sitting inside you. That's not ever been junk. It's just been sitting waiting because it didn't have the right frequency, because we work on a frequency. So the frequency up till now has been only awakening the DNA we require at this level of density of reality. We're going to need more. The sun and this galactic wave is hitting us, giving us the new light codes required in order to activate that DNA. So you're probably finding you're a lot more psychic. You're a lot more intuitive and you vibrate more, and you probably, when you put your hands together like I teach you, you can probably feel the magnetic pull when you pull apart. You're changing. It's great. We've been waiting for this for a long time. And anyone that's watched my channel knows that I went through massive changes in 2013, 9 hours of vibrating. And today I drove behind a car that was a 13 plate. I just bought a 13 plate. The other car behind was 13 plate. I came home and the computer was 1313. I'm like, what's all the 13s today? And I went, oh, because it was 2013 that I went through the changes, and they told me it would be 10 years in the future, so 2023. So this is the year that you're all going to be going through what I went through in 2013. Massive vibrations, ears ringing. An interesting thing that you might experience, because my daughter just experienced it, and she's only 6, doesn't know what's going on. She said, Mummy, my ears are really bothering me. I'm hearing things in, like, I'm hearing my own words in my head repeating, like, in all different sounds. I went, I know what she's talking about. Because if you've read my book, then you'll know the whole experience I went through, and all the aliens and ghosts and stuff is all in that book, Alien in the Mirror by Claire Kelly. And I explain in the book that I was hearing my son and his friend talking in multi-tone. Like if you have one of those pianos, the electronic pianos that you record your voice and then you hit a key and it does that word you said in all the different keys. Imagine pressing them all at once and hearing it all in 7 tones at once. I was hearing everything they said like that. Lasted about 20 minutes and stopped. Hers lasted about 20 minutes and stopped. So that's telling me that other people are going through it now as well. Because your ears will change. Everything is changing. Your voice will change. Your eyesight will change. Your eyes might be really tired and sore and filling with crystals. You might see more flashes of light, different coloured flashes of light as you're seeing the, let's call them archangels. We could always call them tall whites. Is there a difference? They smell like sweets when you're physically with them. Anyway, they have been telling me that over the next 5 years we are going to be changing dramatically, but not just us, our reality is going to be changing drastically. And the way I can describe it is if, not just with things on the news coming out, because obviously there's things on the news coming out, okay, which as I showed at the start of this video, that there's information coming out about the truth of where we've been living, of what's been going on. There's going to be so many abductees feeling very grateful right now that it's starting to come out and they don't feel idiots anymore for sharing their truth, because it is their truth and it happened and they've had to live with this, but now they're going to have people understanding what they live through, that we're in a very, very weird world and a lot has been hidden from us and there's a lot more to come. But not just that. Reality will seem very strange at all the things, the information being released and people's behaviour becoming quite odd, but not just other people, in yourself. You will find that reality is slipping, things will be a little bit unreal, and you'll wonder if you just changed timeline because you're talking to somebody about something that happened and they don't remember it happening, didn't happen that way, and you're like feeling gaslit that that did happen. Or you put something down and you look around and it's gone, and then you look back and it's back again. You're going to think you're going a bit mad. It might not be as extreme as that, it might be more subtle, but you will have moments where you think, am I losing the plot? It's not, it's just a changing reality. Reality is becoming a lot more flexible or fluid. So what you're imagining to happen will happen. So be careful what you're imagining, because you will manifest your fears. And they've been trying to train you for the last 10 years not to manifest your fears, which is why they've done all the work through me on removing the ego and not reacting to emotional stimulus, to being the calm breeze that is just unshakable, that understands from a conscious level that people are doing the very best they can, and not to have this screaming, shouting at each other, because that is 3D mentality. That shows a serious lack of understanding and a serious lack of love. And we're moving into a place of unconditional love. It doesn't mean removing your boundaries. Keep your boundaries, keep yourself strong, but in a loving manner. A loving manner. People who are behaving like that will stay on the 3D. Because if you're so very, very, very reactive and not understanding situations and not living in unconditional love, then you won't make it in the new world. So take that on board and do the work that you need to do. Just stop reacting. It's not so serious. Nothing's as serious. Love is more serious. Living in your joy is all you should be thinking about right now. Am I living in my joy? Obviously, if living in your joy means slashing the world up, it's the wrong joy you're living in, right? As long as you're being kind and caring to others, being responsible for your own behaviour, being conscientious, then live in your joy. The other thing I wanted to say, This may not be just for the ones beginning to open up. This is for the long-termers here I'm talking to. You are probably doing an awful lot of undercover work right now in your night times. So your dreams might be very confusing and you're hanging out with people that you don't really know what's going on in your conscious waking mind. You've got vague memories of talking to people about stuff. You are very much acting in a spy capacity right now. So just go with the flow, okay? We are at war, let's face it. Whether it's a designed war as a game or whether it's real and we're trying to take back a planet, see it however you want to see it. But we are at war, and a lot of us incarnated here in order to infiltrate. And we don't infiltrate in our physical bodies, we infiltrate with our astral bodies. We can look like anything we want. You may look in mirrors sometimes in the dream and your face looks like this, triangular with big eyes, or next time you look and it's a completely different face. It doesn't mean you're lots of different beings, it means you're in character. You're uploading vital information back to head office. Does that make sense? Some of you might be experiencing this and wondering what on earth is going on. You might not be remembering your dreams for a while because if you're like me, a bit of a blabbermouth, they choose not to let you remember it. Because you tell everyone. And then there's always people watching. The people watching. If you're psychic and you have the sight, you will see quite up near the top of your ceiling, top of your wall, near your ceiling, you will see white lights, like a white, in your peripheral vision, you'll see lots of like white or glowier areas. That is who we're infiltrating. That is, let's call the enemy. And when you see those white lights, or you feel a denser energy near you, you feel something in your sphere of influence that goes around you, and you don't feel unconditional love or light energy, you just feel someone watching, be mindful of your thoughts. They're listening. Be mindful of your chatter to the people because they're listening. This is a war. Remember, you came here to be part of this war. Don't give all the information away to the other side. Be very careful. Be mindful about what you're sharing. If you have blue lights, green lights, red lights, yellow lights, then you have, what order did I say? Blue, green. Michael, Raphael, Uriel, I forgot the last colour I said, Zachiel. They're all working really hard right now with each and every one of you that calls upon them to help you in this spiritual quest that we're on. So that's all from me. I hope you enjoyed the video at the start. I think there's a lot more coming out about this, and a lot of you might be thinking that it's just distraction, but many of you will know this stuff has been going on for years, and you've probably watched whistleblowers for the last 20 years talking about this information. So for us, it's a high five moment. Yes, it's finally coming out. Is it distraction? Who cares? It's coming out. People are going to find out. And the benefit of this coming out to the public is that they will have to also release what they found on those ships, as in the energy, what their propulsion is. Because if we now know that they have got their hands on free energy, why do we have to keep paying all this money for gas and electric? And if they've kept this hidden for a long time. So I don't really care if it's distraction, if it stops us having to pay large bills and living in a society where we are at the will and mercy of these people. Okay. Love and light to you all. Enjoy the journey.